England are off to an absolute flyer over in Group B after they smashed Iran 6-2. But are they the real deal, or are they just faking it till they're making it? We're going to take a little look at next. That's right, folks. Bam's going with a review of course, Group B. That's right. We'll get to it in just a second. Of course, if you knew where you've been, smash your subscribe button and bang to all things Group B related, Black and Rose related, World Cup related. We got it all here, boys. Under one roof. Of course, England off to a flyer. And of course, the other match ended up as a draw. But who is actually in the driving seat in Group B? We'll have a look at it in a second. Of course, people shout to the VIPs. They are the patrons, of course. But anyway, let's get into it and have a look at this. Digress, break it down, chew on it, and have a little look at what we thought. 6-2 in the end for England. Job done already. And that was a very, very easy performance. I don't think England actually really busted out of a sweat. They didn't get out of second gear. And I hate saying it because I'm not an English guy. I'm here supporting on other nations. But England looked good without really having to be good. And the glitch on their resume here is that, of course, conceding 2 goals to Mehdi Taremi, who could have had a hat-trick, to be honest with you, at the end. And Admoon as well could have made it a little bit spicy for them as well. But 6-2 in the end, of course, it was on the 35th minute when Jude Bellingham opened up the scoring before Bukayo Saka made it 2-0, and Raheem Sterling put it a game over as a contest in the extra time minute there before the half-time whistle. 3-0 it was at the break, and of course in the second half it continued with Bukayo Saka getting his second. Then Mehdi Taremi made it a little bit spicy on the 65th minute before Rashford and Jack Grealish put this game on the full disclosure here that England are in this for seriousness. But however, Mehdi Taremi's late penalty in the 13th minute of stoppage time in a game that saw probably an extra 30 minutes of play due to an injury to the goalkeeper from Iran in the first half, which had a bit of a bearing, I think, on this scoreline. I think if they had Iran's number one and that collision had never happened and he played this, it might have been a much reduced scoreline. I still think England would have won comfortably, like 3-0 or 4-0, but the confidence was sapped, and of course they were there for the taking in the end. So possession wise, 78% possession in favour of the English, 22% in favour of Iran. Of course 13 shots for them on the day, just 2 of them off target. Only 11 shots of course were on the target in one way or another, so you got to give maybe the standing goalkeeper some kudos there. 8 shots of course for the Iranians, 4 of them off target, 2 of them in the back of the net, and they could and should have added more, but unfortunately they couldn't. 8 corners compared to Iran's 0, and of course much better performance it was from England heading into this on the back of 6 games without a win. Let's take a look at the team then, with a value of €634. We had Pickford between the sticks, Stones at the back there, Harry Maguire alongside him, Luke Shaw 27 years of age, and Kieran Trippier 32 years of age. Declan Rice, £80 million worth of talent in there, of course, alongside Jude Bellingham, £100 million worth of talent, and then Mason Mount as well. Sterling, Bukayo Saka, and Harry Bloody Kane up top. Those were the key men. Very, very important kind of figures they were for England. But we did see some substitutions. Eric Dyer coming on there alongside Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Rashford, and Callum Wilson, who was a handful and again could have got himself in amongst the goals. Let's take a look at the opposition then. It was Iran with Azman Badavand, 30 years old, of course, £1 million rated, but of course took out early doors in that game. We had Bula Denjait, of course, the back there with Hosseini, £3 million rated, and Chasimi as well, with Mohammadi on the left hand side, Morami on the right back, Ali Karimi, just of course 28 years old, £100,000 valued. But yeah, Nurari alongside £2 million rated. Then we had Hasifi, the captain, JJ Bash, £3 million, of course playing at Feyenoord now, and Terimi, £20 million. He is 30 though, playing his football in Porto. Of course we did see a few changes. Husseini, of course, coming on their goalkeeper, and then Kanani at the back, with Astalalili, of course, in midfield, Turabi. They actually made 6 changes. Gulade and Azmoun, of course, playing at Leverkusen these days. Take a look then, of course, the man of the match for England. What we're looking at here, Saka, 8.5, Jude Bellingham, 8.2. So Saka getting the odds on the nod there. Badavand with a 6.5, not really involved. 8 for Taremi, a couple of goals there. So fair play to him. And, of course, you can see the graphic down the bottom there where all the drama took place. The heat maps, pretty grim times. Midfield bossed by England today. They were on it, they owned it, and they put Iran in their place. speaking of Iran, their heat map, pretty sporadic. Hardly really touched the ball, to be fair. And of course, the better side definitely won this game. What about the other game over in Group B? It was all square in the end. A very, very tight affair. Timothy Weah, George's boy, that's right, Georgie's kid, opened up scoring on our 36th minute. And I duly must say, the Americans deserved that lead in the first half. And now, if we're going to be completely honest with you, the Welsh deserve something out of this game, specifically from the second half performance. And big bad boy Gareth Bale scoring on the 82nd minute from the penalty spot to give the Welsh boys an probably a fair point on this one. Who's going to be the happier? Probably the Welsh, as we heard from Pete on the phone-in show. Grim. It was a grim way to go out of that game, despite leading for 82 minutes up to the 82nd minute. So it's a bitter pill to take, but America were good. There is some positives in there, and if they were to perform well against Iran in the final game, I know there's some the scenario is not ideal for them. They'll take on England next. We'll talk about that in a minute, and the Welsh take on Iran as well. So it doesn't really work out because technically England could beat the United States and qualify, and then take it easy somewhat against the Welsh. But would England be okay with that? I don't know. But anyway, I thought America were good. A little bit hard done by, but I do think the Welsh deserved something at this game. And the stats, of course, show 59% possession for America, 41% for Wales, 7 shots for the Welsh, compared to 6 shots for the US of A as well. Take a look at, of course, the teams. Matt Turner, Tim Ream, of course, at the back there with Zimmerman. Of course, with Anthony Robinson on the left-hand side, Serginho Dest on the right. Tyler Adams was fantastic in midfield. Musa as well alongside him, both very young. Weston McKennie, 24 years of age. Pulisic also 24, Timothy Weah 22, and Josh Sargent also 22. Combined value of £155 million or euros. Pretty good young side they've got here. America definitely prepping for the next World Cup. They'll all be around about 28 in the prime of their lives. And of course, a chance for them to go very, very far. The substitutions that were you, DeAndre Yedlin, 29 years of age now. He's been at least one World Cup before. Kalen Acosta, 27 years old. He came on. Brennan Aronson, of course, had to set up for the bench. Jordan Morris as well, 28. And Haji Wright, 24 years old as well, but I'm not sure where he's playing his football these days. But no Reina, no Latorre, no Christian Roldan. Some good players. Joe Scally, I do like him, right back. Carmen Carter-Vickers as well, didn't get a look in. It's pretty much the tried and trusted fellas at the moment. What about the Welsh then, shall we? Of course, the Welsh with the Hennessy between the sticks. There, Chris Mepham, Joe Rondon as well. We had Ben Davies, Aaron Ramsey, of course. They're the back three there. Aaron Ramsey, Harry Wilson, Connor Roberts, the six-fingered freakazoid from Burnley. Nico Williams on the left-hand side. Ifan Apandu on the books at... Where the heck's he playing his football these days? Not too sure. Gareth Bale up there alongside Dan James. £106 million rated, so much less than that of the Americans. But of course, the substitutions, Joe Morrow coming on, the youngster, or not really youngster, guy playing in League One football. Sorba Thomas, of course, playing at Huddersfield. Brennan Johnson, young gun up there at Forest. And Kiefer Moore, the game changer, the guy who turned this game around in favour of Wales, of course. But take a look at, of course, the match ratings and all that kind of jazz. Timothy Weah with 7.3, Tyler Adams with a 7.2, Pulisic with 7.3 as well. So a bit of a debate there of who won the man of the match. We heard from Philly Pete earlier. He would give it to Tyler Adams. As for the Welsh point of view, Gareth Bale 7.5, Harry Wilson 7.6. It looks like they're going to give the man of the match rating to a Welshie. And of course, you can see the drama where it all explodes. A lot of yellows dished around. And of course, 2 yellows mean you miss the next game, which of course could be massive for the Welsh if they are to go into the English game with all on the line, because they're going to take on Iran first. Anyway, take a look at the heat maps. It's very even, as you can see, very even when you look at the heat maps. And if it's a coin toss between these two sides. But anyway, let's take a little look from the fans. Of course, we heard we got some feedback from America, we got feedback from England, and if we got anybody else, I'll throw it in the mix.
So England off to an emphatic start. Should have really ended 6-1 to England, I must say. Felt like, well, to be fair, it probably was a penalty, but let's say it should have ended 7-2 then, after the controversy with Maguire literally being bear-hugged, wrestled to the ground by an Iranian defender in the first half, and then the lack of consistency there to be seen yet again with VAR. Stones pulls an Iranian striker's shirt and he goes down, makes a meal of it, and it's a penalty. Almost like a bit of a pity penalty, to be honest, to Iran, who didn't cover themselves in glory at all today, it must be said. You know, I was expecting a routine 2-0 win. I thought it would be a harder game than it was, but ultimately it was probably an easier game for England than it was for Ecuador last night. Men against boys yet again. You know, the one real chance they had, they took, and fair play to the man up front. Brilliant, you know, takes it first time and smashes it in, unsavable. But yeah, as said, the penalty should have been a penalty, but ultimately England should have also had one, and we should have been equaling that record we had against Panama for the biggest margin victory we've had at a World Cup. But lots of positives to be took from today. Controlled the game very well. When Iran had their chances to break on the counter on transition, most of the times we nullified that straight away. Bellingham in particular was brilliant, getting stuck in and stopping that transition before they even had a chance to get going. And we restricted them so well due to that. I thought Bellingham was man of the match personally. It went to Saka, and you know, I would say Bellingham just because he played the full 90, but if Saka had played the full 90 and potentially could have got another, I probably would have given it to him. But Saka, absolutely brilliant too. As I said, you know, before the ball was kicked, Dirk asked me the question, who'd be the most exciting players from a neutral to watch out for, and I said Saka, and he's proven exactly why. In an England shirt, he's just as good as he is for Arsenal, really, and yeah, he's just a brilliant player. Bellingham getting his first ever goal for England as well, kicking things off at 19 years of age, mental really. Sterling getting another, proving he still can do it in England shirt. It's not been the best of times for him in a Chelsea shirt by any means, but in an England shirt, does the business. Maguire assisting Saka for that beautiful volley he struck, and looked a handful today. Didn't cover himself in glory for Iran's goal, it must be said. I feel like he was ball watching a little bit, and obviously we weren't defensively tested at all really, so there are going to be those question marks whether he can, you know, hold himself defensively. But in terms of set pieces, you know, he should have got England a penalty. Assisted Saka and just looks a real handful each and every time the ball will getting swung in, which he is from set pieces, to be fair. And again, in an England shirt, he's, you know, at a major tournament, he's not put a foot wrong and is yet to have a bad game really at a major tournament for England. And also, I think, as mentioned, Sterling, really good game from him. There was a nice bit of play between him and Kane, which I wish he'd have just shot instead of trying to cut back onto his right foot, but wasn't meant to be. But really positive to start for England. I thought we'd maybe start the tournament slow after coming into this tournament on the back of a really disappointing Nation League games rather. Obviously, you know, losing to Hungary, the games against Italy and Germany didn't cover ourselves in glory. But we've started very well against a team that's 20th in the world, apparently, according to the FIFA rankings. You know, as was said on commentary, actually, where the only group at this World Cup where each and every team is in the top 20. What says a lot, really. So I expect tighter games between Wales and USA. Must be said. I do not expect us to be getting 6 goals by any means against them. Be a lot more tension in those games for sure. You know, a bit of bragging rights, obviously, with Wales, with the home nations clash, but also USA. There is somewhat of a rivalry there between us and them. So I expect them to be much tougher games, but you would think after getting this win today, that should see us through, really. You know, we get one more win against USA or Wales, which you would expect us to do, and we should be more than fine. Should be an interesting game later today. in about an hour's time, USA and Wales, and that will really show who our main contenders are going to be in this group. Senegal just played Netherlands, lost 2-0, and I believe we're due to face the team that finished second in that group if we were to win our group. Senegal looked lacking up front, really. So I give Ecuador every chance, really, of getting out that group, and I predict they will, to be fair. Mendy, shocking in net for them, and looks like he's really lost his confidence from, winning the Champions League and the AFCON in the same year to now where he's not even in the starting team for Chelsea. And obviously Koulibaly's not playing his best football right now either. So I'd quite happily take Senegal or Ecuador. And then if it goes the way you would expect, it's looking like we're going to get France in the last 8, which will be a real test for this England team. And probably the first test we'll have, really, if it goes as expected, we probably won't be facing a team who are about our level on paper up until France. So yeah, positive start for England, very positive, more than I was expecting, more than I could have hoped for. And I think it's good reason for fans to start getting excited. We'll have to see how France get on tomorrow, with an eye on them potentially being our team we face in the last 8. Hopefully they follow their World Cup win last time around with a poor tournament, which they do have a knack of doing, apparently, having a good World Cup followed by a poor one. So hopefully that is the case, and we can see England go all the way.
Pete with Philly Rovers here of the Rover Seas YouTube channel. Missed opportunity, I have to say. USA could have pulled it out and gotten the 3 points today to give us a tie with England in the group stage. Now we go to Friday's game, and it's going to be the matchup of all matchups. Gareth Bale does it again to us today. As a Philly guy, oh, brutal. We were live there at Top Tomato today. The American Outlaws, the Philly supporters were out in full today. All of America, USA, all the way, baby. But unfortunately, wasn't our day today. Sorry for the noise here. But if we can do the same thing on Friday, a tie on Friday, that would put the pressure on Wales going into the third game. Hopefully Iran can step up and do something better than they did today versus the English, versus the 3 Lions. I am concerned, though. I do have my concerns. Center back was our weak point, and it was our downfall today. We gave up that penalty to, of course, GB. And it was all they could talk about. It used to be the last World Cup, it was Neymar. Now it was all Gareth Bale. It was like he was winning the World Cup. And this was on US TV stations, broadcasts, Fox News. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. Where was the Pulisic hype? Where was the Weston McKennie hype? It was like they were building up for something that they already know was going to happen. I'm not saying anything. But listen, we've got a strong squad. Hopefully the Yellows will not take their toll, and they will not dictate what Triple G puts forward on Friday. 2 o'clock game. Back at the same stadium that we saw in the Qatar-Ecuador game yesterday to start us out. That ref today, he loved pulling the card out early and quick. We'll see if it continues. Really would have loved Josh Sargent, the Norwich City man, front runner for the Golden Boot in the Championship League, to pull one out today. tough one. But big save there from Turner, the local guy, Jersey, New Jersey. But again, yeah, Hennessy for the Wales squad had his own saves indeed, that's for sure. We'll see if we can do it. Pete with Philly Rovers here, 1-1 Wales, USA. The red, white, and blues, perhaps a disappointing tie tonight. When we thought we could pull it out, going to halftime, coming out of the locker room confident. A win would have been nice. A win would have been nice to get us started off. But, yeah, you know what? 1958 Wales. All they did was draw. All they did was draw in 1958 in the group stage. And then they moved on. Then they moved on. They lost to Brazil. And who scored it against them but Pele? Today, it was Weah. Before that, Pele. The last person to score against Wales was Pele. And now it was Weah for USA. One and the same. But yeah, Wales is following their own footsteps from 58. Pete with Philly Rovers of the Rover CC YouTube channel. It is not coming home, my friends. It is not coming home. We will see you Black Friday post Thanksgiving. Enjoy your turkey Thursday, but be ready for Friday. Get your shopping in early. Go to Walmart. Get everything done. Best Buy. Get the good deals, guys. But 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 10 p.m. Qatari time. For those who were wondering. USA, USA, USA. It's coming to its new home. Be with Philly Rovers and the Rovers YouTube channel. We'll see you Friday.
Meanwhile, what's going on elsewhere around the group here, of course. So England currently top the pops there with Wales in second spot for now. The USA in third and Iran are fourth. Wales will take on Iran this Black Friday. It's the early kickoff, 5 a.m. for me. Ouch, ouch, ouch. And then, of course, at 2 p.m. my time, England against USA. Black Friday indeed. And then they'll wrap it up. Iran against USA. Wales against England. What I was saying earlier was, of course, you know, if the USA lose to England, Wales win against Iran, it's not over, but an England-Wales draw, we'll see Wales go through. Now, do they want that? Do they want that, or do they want to knock them out? Do they want to knock them? Who do they want to see go through, the Americans or the Welsh? That's, of course, a debate to have. But if England were to pull, or the USA pull off a draw against England, then guess what? That England-Wales game becomes absolutely monumental, because it will be Iran against USA to wrap it up, and of course potentially USA could win the group and take on the likes of the runner-up in Group A. It's all to be played for here, of course, at the World Cup. But hopefully you'll be here to see me through to the bitter end. But until then, guys, subscribe, thumbs up, smash the little bell. We go again, guys. We go again.